PLD Projects presents Holy Snokes, a Star Wars podcast featuring PLD and Matty Gunner. May the Force be with you, always. Greetings and salutations, my friends. Welcome to another episode of Holy Snokes, a Star Wars podcast on the PLD Projects Network. I'm your host, PLD, and with me, as always, my hetero life mate, Matty Gunner. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, mate. How are you doing? You're looking good.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, thank you.
You're looking good. You know.
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything off air. I wanted to you're looking good, man.
Oh, I appreciate.
You've been on the PJ Campbell schedule? Cause
not quite.
I see the pair of you both. You know, am I gonna have to start worrying?
That guy's intense. That guy, you have to worry about PJ maybe because he's doing like 5 or 6 miles a day.
We've had conversations. Yeah, PJ's coming for me.
He's definitely coming for you. I might be trailing a little bit behind. I'm in the background somewhere, like probably going, hey, I'm back here somewhere. But I'm making the journey at least, starting to at least. So I appreciate that, the hard work.
One thing I wanted to ask you: how was your first appearance on Force Center?
Oh, do I call it? That was my first appearance. I actually did call it one at a time before, but
did you?
It's great. Yeah, I called in like was that 2 times ago or something to that effect. But I don't remember what it was. There was definitely one other time I had called in, but
I think I missed that one. I know you called into Ken's other show, The Blathering. Now available on Ken Knapsack's YouTube channel. Go check that out.
Yeah,
but I know you called in on that. I didn't know you called in on Force Center though.
I thought I had. I talk to Ken all the time anyway, so I don't maybe I much think of something else. But I thought I did once. I remember talking to some. But either way, it's always a pleasure to go on to pop on that show. Although I seriously feel sometimes like more worried or nervous, I should say, nervous going on that show than I do like on our own show, which is it just feels like, I guess it's my show. Like my channel, my name's in the bin. I can do what I want, and if you don't like it, bye, whatever. But I got being representing and being yourself on like Ken and Joseph's channel. I want to make sure it's good content for them or whatever. So, but it was fun.
I have to fight so hard not to curse whenever I go on. Like
I was gonna ask that about you. Because I actually do the same because like I don't curse a whole lot on this channel or on this show, generally speaking. But you do more than I do. I don't mind it. Like I let it go too every once in a while, but like generally speaking, but I do when I go on the show. Go, I really gotta mind my P's and Q's here on this.
Yeah, I just feel like I don't want to let Uncle Ken and Uncle Joseph down. And
the funny part is I gotta say is like it's more like Joseph for me because like Ken I kind of have a good friendship with. I don't have as much of a friendship with Joseph. I only met him a few times on the Schmodown related stuff. Nicest guy in the world, but it's almost like he's so nice. I'm kind of like, I don't want to offend him at his doorstep. Like Ken, I feel like I can get away with it, and Ken and I would be okay later on. He'd probably tell me to F off later on, like privately, but like joking around, of course. But yeah, with Joseph and Jennifer, I'm like, I guess trying to be respectful.
You went on, and your tribute to James Earl Jones was very touching. I know you told it to me a couple of days beforehand,
right?
But it was still like touching, and like seeing the response to it in the chat. Yeah. I know I gave you a load of shit, be like, oh, this fucking guy telling the same old story over and over again.
I need you to do that for me. I need you to keep me in line sometimes before I become the blathering old man. Not to use Ken's broadcast name there, but the blathering old man myself. So, no, it was very good. And Joseph actually really took a shine to that specifically. And so I was very happy to be able to give something personal. Because everybody's been having their own tributes to James Earl Jones, but having my own little personal touch has been nice to be able to share with people and be like, oh, it's a unique side of things that I haven't like heard amongst the various tributes, which don't make the various tributes any lesser. It's a different side of things that you see from. So, but no, they did a great job with their tribute to James Earl Jones. I love hearing all their side of things, and the whole Lion King talk was funny as hell.
Oh my God. Did you listen to their
the follow-up
episode? Yeah.
Jennifer was like taking the task basically. Oh my God. Yeah. Here we are. We're talking for Holy Snokes has become the Force Center after show. here, as we know, which
I'm
could
all
be.
for it.
Actually, I love them. I'm all for it too. They're my favorite. They are my favorite Star Wars podcast that's going now. I mean, Devin, Star Wars Explained, and a few others that I do like, and Thank the Maker and things like that. This is all, of course, the Resistance
You know
Network.
who I really like, Paul?
Who?
Star Wars Newsnet.
Man, this is why I pay you the big bucks. Look at that segue into our news of the day. If you haven't been here before, hit that like, hit that subscribe, all that good stuff. Get those subscriptions going. We are getting closer to 1,000. Closer. We made this journey a long time ago. We started. Are now up to about 673. So we're within
but not in a galaxy far, far away. In a man's house in New York.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly true. But everything we do that, we greatly appreciate it. We have a group Patreon. If you want to do even further, patreon.com/PLD Projects. We have a great crew there. Try to do some early content for you guys on there. No Holy Snokes, unfortunately, because generally speaking, we record Holy Snokes and put it right out pretty much not too long afterwards. We might put up today because we had this one isn't. We're recording this on a Wednesday. We don't go out until Thursday now, so I might put this up on the Patreon tonight. What the hell? Why not? And but yeah, it's a great crew over there as well. Austin Goodell, Brandon Buckingham, great crew over there. But if you can't, totally get it. I understand it completely. We're just doing our best to all make our way in the galaxy as it is. But if you have been here before, you know how we do things here. We have a main topic of discussion. But first up, I'd like to talk about the news of the week that we have gotten to. And, well, this week's a little chintzy on news, and that's okay. A little smaller news breaks. We have a couple things we can mention and get into. So without further ado, let's get into that. Before we go into Rebuild the Galaxy, the Lego Star Wars special that came out last week, which I was very excited. I'm very excited to talk about. 4 episodes, a lot of fun. But first up, the news. First up on Star Wars News Network, I curate all my news, as Matty said, because I love how they curate news. It's a one-stop shop for news. I can tell what's real, what's fake, what's possible, what's conjecture, and what's serious. This one has to talk about video games. This is definitely more up your alley, Matty Gunner. Respawn is now working on the final chapter of the Star Wars Jedi video game saga. It's going to be a trilogy, I guess, which makes sense. That's old school Star Wars to have a trilogy.
Yeah, we've been hearing that for a while. This was going to be a trilogy,
and yeah, that's what we've heard for a while. I know Cal Kestis himself, the actor who plays Cal Kestis, I forget his name,
Cameron Monaghan.
Cameron Monaghan, that's correct. He had confirmed it probably about a year ago, but this is where it really has basically said that this is the ending of the saga. Stated over 40 million Star Wars fans have connected with Cal Kestis and his arc of becoming a powerful Jedi. Respawn is working hard to bring the final chapter of this thrilling story to players. It delivered some of the highest quality and best-selling Star Wars games of all time, with over $5 billion in net bookings. This impressive track record, of course, includes, the Star Wars Jedi games. So there we are. It's going to be the third and final battle of Cal Kestis' career, at least in this video game series. I wouldn't be surprised to see him make the jump at some point to comics or to maybe an animated series.
He wants to be in live action. He said so himself. Like he wants in on live action. And the thing is, I've never met the dude personally, but from seeing pictures of people that I know standing next to him, he's a big, physically imposing dude.
Is he?
Like, he's big and he's in shape. So he could probably handle the action sequences. I know he does a lot. I don't know if he does all of the mocap for the games, but I've seen him in the mocap suits, so he can more than handle the action. He's a great actor. Wasn't he Joker in?
He was the
Joker.
Show? Yeah,
Joker.
That was always a weird way they did that with God. I never really know if it called him the Joker or not. It was kind of this weird kind of reimagining kind of thing. But basically he was the Joker type character.
He's got the acting chops. Absolutely. To be able to tackle a character like quote unquote Joker.
Absolutely. Well, what do you think about the game? You played the games. Are you excited about this? Do you want it to end? Is it time to end? What are your thoughts?
It is time to end. I think I'm a big fan of trilogies. As much as I love Metal Gear Solid games, dragging it out to Metal Gear Solid 4, that was a terrible idea because it was Konami wanting to answer all the questions that fans wanted and stakeholders wanting to put it out there and have this end to the story. Whereas Kojima was just like, no, I wanted to end this at 2. Like, leave the story alone. You're dragging it out. Okay, so I'm just going to tank this thing, is what is alleged. But I think it's a good time. The way they ended it in Survivor was beautiful. Like whenever I still have the song playing from the final scene, I have that in a playlist along with
wow.
like a load of like Hans Zimmer and a load of other stuff that I just listen to when I'm out, like if I'm out for a walk, and I just play the final scene in my head, and it's just so haunting and bone chilling that I feel like you have this. The third game is the perfect way to put the stamp on, if not Cal's story overall, this chapter of Cal
Right.
Kestis' story. I think
All
the
right.
third one is perfect. And I did a playtest for a game at EA a few weeks ago. So I know they are working on other projects. It wasn't for this. I know they've got multiple irons in the fire at the minute, so it does seem like they're going to be having a lot of things coming out. So
Oh, good for them. Okay, cool. I have to admit that, like, I still haven't. I will someday. I always say I will, but I still haven't watched all the cutscenes or every kind of movie order. I'd like to at least do that.
that's so good.
'Cause I've heard great things about it. I just haven't done it. It just hasn't been on my radar enough to do it. So I will have to try to do that, especially when the end comes out. Maybe I'll just watch all three of them together. Maybe I'll wait for the third game to come out and watch everything together, and then make it a final
There's
trilogy of
some
sorts.
real heartbreaking and emotional scenes in that game, in
Hmm.
Survivor especially. Fallen Order's really good. Survivor, I think, is great, like
Hmm.
almost KOTOR level great.
Really, that's impressive.
Mm.
That's impressive. How's the gameplay versus the 1 versus 2? Just curious.
It's it's uh, it's a lot more like, I would say, a beginner's version of like Dark Souls and Elden
Mhm.
Ring. Like they're not going to make them so difficult like an Elden Ring or a Dark Souls, because that would put off the casual Star Wars fan. I mean, I played Sekiro for 6 hours, which was the samurai version of Dark Souls. I played it for 6 hours and I took the game back because I was just like, I can't play this. This is too much. This is too hard even for me. I'm taking this back. Yeah,
Damn.
there's a lot of like little side quests you can do. A lot of really cool characters in Survivor. Like I call him Scuba Steve, but he's Scuba Stev. He's just like this little guy who like help him. He helps you like collect rare fish to put in a tanker in the bar.
Mm.
And he has a Scottish accent, and he just has all these outrageous stories.
That's
And
funny.
obviously there's Turgle, who everyone apparently loves.
Of course, of course, of course. Even I've heard that name, so
Mm.
that tells you something. All right. Well, I'm not sure. They're not sure when it's coming out yet, but we know that it is
It won't be
in
for a
the
while. I
works.
would say probably
26, 27.
27.
Mhm. That makes sense. And these games take a while to do. I know that. So
Especially
that'll be
with the new engine, they've got to port everything over onto a new engine and essentially recreate all the assets from the other game, recreate it on a new engine, and then essentially build the whole game from that, which takes a long time to do.
right. Right. Makes sense. It totally makes sense. So, all right. Next bit of news we got. This is just kind of a funny story as far as I'm concerned, but still kind of okay, cool. Stop if you heard this before, but streamers are going back to cable in a way. Disney Plus introducing a Star Wars and Marvel only channel, Hits and Heroes, later this year. In an effort to incentivize the engagement of its users, Disney Plus will be introducing 4 new live channels to its streaming service this year. During an interview with Disney TV chief Dana Walden, basically stated there's going to be a throwback channel playing a pop culture nostalgia content, a real life channel which is running documentaries and biopics, and a seasonal Halloween stream channel. But the one we're focused on, of course, is Hits and Heroes, which will be Marvel and Star Wars programming on a 24/7 loop. So we're basically getting back to the TV. We're having
Yeah, this is basically Disney saying we fucked up, but we
a
didn't
little bit,
fuck up.
right?
But like we're not gonna admit it, because I mean, you look
Right.
at what like some things are doing. Like you can get, if I'm not mistaken, out there, you can get a package deal, right, of Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus all
Mhm.
together. That's basically like a cable
There's
package.
a new package I'm actually going to get. I got to be honest with you. Is Disney Plus, Hulu, and Max. So like Disney and Warner Brothers working together, like to do this together. It's like
Hey,
it's insane. It's insane to do that.
Just go back. Are they going to be coming back and like fit in the boxes in our houses?
That's one.
I still
you know,
have my old black cable box with the teletext and everything on it. Did you have teletext?
I don't think I had teletext though.
Oh, dude,
Never had that.
teletext was the thing. You could like look up like flight times,
Oh wow,
directions, everything on teletext. It was great.
interesting. That must be a UK thing. I never really heard of that before.
Oh, I will introduce you to the wonders of
Wonders.
teletext.
Fair. Honestly, as much as I joke about it going back to cable and everything, I actually like the idea. I think it's kind of cool because like it's a good idea and that will bring viewers to Disney Channel, like Disney Plus. Because sometimes you go to Disney Plus, you don't know what you're going to want to watch. I don't want to throw on something in the background. I might change it. But if you have a channel on Disney Plus that you might just like leave on in the background where you're doing stuff all day, it's like, oh, I'll just throw it on, see what comes on. It's like playing. Basically, it's like having a music playlist and you just put it on shuffle. Yeah. So it's like, okay, let's just see what happens. And if you don't like
it does remind me of like MTV when MTV used to be all music. Do you remember when you used to have to text in a code for the song that you wanted to hit, like the music video you wanted to be played on the channel?
Yeah, I remember.
Imagine if you could do that, like text this code to
right.
play this episode of Star Wars, to play this episode of the Clone Wars, text in this code.
Right. And see which one won or whatever after time. Interesting way to do it. And plus, interesting that it mixes Star Wars and Marvel. You know, I love both properties, so it'd be kind of cool to go back. Oh, it's on. Oh, Star Wars is now. We follow it with a Marvel movie or Marvel TV show or whatever. I don't know if it's going to be like. I kind of wonder if they're going to do like, will they just do a season of the Clone Wars in a row, or will they do like random episodes of the Clone Wars followed up by a random episode of WandaVision? Like, is it going to be that kind of thing, or is it going to be?
That would be funny.
Who knows? It'd be interesting to see, especially there's a lot of
Star Wars these days would have no idea what to do.
Also, there's an Ewoks cartoon comes in. It randomly could happen. You know,
holiday special just randomly pops on.
Good. Well, you don't have that. Don't have that on Disney Plus, so that's not going to happen. You might get the Boba Fett cartoon though. Willow.
Did they bring back Willow?
They did not bring. Oh no, because that's Star Wars and Marvel. It's not Lucasfilm and Marvel. You know, I don't know if they bring back Willow. I think they don't want Willow on there because they'd have to pay them then at that point if they keep putting on. So they're not going to bring Willow back, unfortunately. Bastards, so to speak. Although they're great. If that was, I think this whole thing would be well worth it if Willow came back on the channel for sure. So I don't know. I like the idea to a degree. I understand why they're doing it. It is.
We grew up with cable. That's why we think it's a great idea.
It's a laugh. I mean, and you know, sometimes like you take 2 steps forward, 1 step back, kind of thing. I think this might be a good way to do that. Like we took a bunch of steps forward streaming, and the idea of streaming was great in sound. You pay for certain channels to only because when you bought cable, we had like 170 channels, and we watched like probably 30 of them, maybe 20 of them, whatever it is. So you get to curate, right? If that. So you get to curate a little bit with this. Like, okay, cool. I'll get Netflix and I'll get Disney Plus. I'm good. But then, of course, as always, it's too much of a good thing. And now we have like thousands of like, I'm exaggerating, but a lot of streaming services, like, and it's costing now the same as cable did. And so it's like, well, at least we get to like pick and choose what we want to watch when we want to watch it. At least we can also, the good part about it still, we can still cut back. I don't want to I'm going to have to pay for Netflix this month. I'll pay for Netflix. Cobra Kai's coming back, so I'll pay for Netflix this month. And then I'll drop it. So you can kind of
Cobra Kai come back.
Oh, I can't wait for it. I love that show.
Like I get text messages from my like phone bill provider saying, if you upgrade your phone with us today, we'll throw you in 6 months of Disney Plus.
Oh yeah. I just upgraded my Verizon package and I got like Disney and Hulu together. But actually, what led me to there's a Disney Hulu Max package outside of Verizon that can get that's cheaper. It's like I'll do that instead. But,
so it's like internet service providers are offering TV package deals. It's just like your bog standard broadband deal, but just repackaged. So we have essentially gone back to where we were before streaming. Just you don't have a man coming into your house to put the box in.
Right. And this is why I mean it's only 1 step back though, because we do still have the right to curate. We still I can pick and choose which services I want. I get a bundle deal, great. If not, I don't have to. And also we have that choice. I get to stream whatever I want, whenever I want it. But I also have now the ability to just kind of go, I'm just gonna be fucking like doing the dishes back here. I'm gonna be sweeping up. I don't even know what I want to watch. I just want to ask something back. Oh, Star Wars Hits and Heroes. Cool. Iron Man 3 is on. Okay, cool. I'll do that. And then it goes into Force Awakens. Okay.
Iron Man movies.
Yeah, you're not entirely wrong. I think that's actually a good point. We hear stand Iron Man 3 here. on this channel for sure. PJ Campbell.
Iron Man 3 is the Back to the Future 3 of the MCU.
I don't know.
Criminally underrated.
See, I don't know if I go that way. I think Back to the Future 2 is more criminally underrated than 3. Everybody I know likes 3 better than 2. I'm the only one who likes 2 better than 3.
You know, like movie people, like people that love movies.
I'm the only one who likes 2 better than 3.
Joe Average. Talk to Joe Average. I bet you they say 2 is better than 3.
Okay. All right, that's fair. Maybe I'm Joe Average now because that's what I feel. But
it's like the same people that say Return of the Jedi is better than Empire Strikes Back. It's like
Mark Ellis.
We value your opinion, but like the experts know which one.
Well, we have no Mark Ellis slander on this channel. Just saying.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I would never. Never ever make fun of someone that can roast you to within an inch of your life if they chose to.
Mark Ellis, if you guys don't know who he is, you probably, if you're not watching me, you know who Mark Ellis is.
Channel, they know who Mark Ellis is.
But go watch all of his specials and everything else. I gotta tell you,
if you don't watch this channel, you know who Mark Ellis is. He's one of the greatest comedians of our time.
Real aside there, I told a story when I used to write questions with PJ for the Schmodown and Mark Ellis on the desk. It was always our goal, and if we got Mark Ellis to laugh, we consider ourselves successful. That was the go-to. If we can get Mark Ellis to laugh, we're good to go.
Yeah.
And Mark Ellis, you can see on this channel, actually, we did that one-off episode. I did that one-off episode with him talking about Van Halen, which was a lot of fun as well. So, all right, getting back to the news here before we tangent too far out of control. Next bit of news we got here. Ewan McGregor getting the star, a Hollywood Star Walk of Fame. And I can't remember if we actually talked about this last week or not. I can't remember if we actually discussed it. But
keep going. I need to find the person who said this so I can give them credit, because it got me so teary-eyed that I was just like, I hate that I'm crying at 7 o'clock in the morning.
But it was a great story. Obviously, I don't remember if we actually covered it last week or not. It came out like really right around the same time as we recorded last week. But it was wonderful having Hayden Christensen on scene, of course. Hayden Christensen giving his induction, and it's so lovely to have them have their friendship that they have. Like beyond Star Wars, beyond the prequels, beyond anything else, those two really feel like they're brothers and really feel like they just are like great friends. It's not like a fake thing. It's not like they're just palling around. Like when they get together, they're real buds. They're real mates. And you love that for him because he always looks like Ewan's like a big brother to Hayden. And it's like almost like Ewan was a better brother to Hayden than Obi-Wan could be to Anakin. Not that it was Obi-Wan's fault, but it was that kind of thing. Ewan was able to be there to help protect Hayden, who doesn't need protection. He's a grown man. He's a good guy, but it's just a different kind of story.
Went and lives on a farm in Canada.
Huh?
So he's doing all right.
He's doing quite fine. So specifically, the first time I met Ewan was in Australia. I remember walking into the hair and makeup room when he came over and gave me a big hug. Right away, I knew that I was standing in front of a friend. He really took me under his wing. It's easy to get caught up in the technicalities of making those films, but he always just brought it back to the emotional aspect of what we were doing. And it was great to see. I loved seeing that. How about you?
You ready for this?
Yeah, let's hear it.
This is a post from EM Kenobi. They put Ewan Star next to Carrie, so now Obi-Wan is always watching over Leia.
Oh God. Wow. Nice touch there, my friend. Nice touch.
That's getting me now.
Yeah.
Right? Because Ewan and Carrie were really good friends.
Yeah. They really were.
And he even said in his speech that he's honored to be next to his friend Carrie. And I was just like, damn, dude. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. Whew. Get a little dusty in here.
You see my eyes already starting to go red. I'm like, nope.
Nope, can't do it.
Not on camera. Nope.
Watch that single man tear come down.
Oh.
It's a wonderful story all around. And he ended up talking about Obi-Wan, of course. He talked about a lot of things he did in his career, but specifically, he wanted to mention, he goes, I loved more than anything getting to know Alec Guinness's work because I was playing him as a young man. Even now with the series, that's my personal challenge. If Take feels a bit like him, I'm happy. I really do hope we get a chance to do another one. between where we ended off in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series and when Alec Guinness comes on screen with Luke Skywalker, I think there's another few stories to tell in there. So, yeah, okay. Yes, man wants to do Star Wars. No shock. B, this though feels like really genuine. Before people are asking you, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'd come back. Oh, I'd come back." He seems to be pushing for it now a little bit. Like he's pushing for more of it, and I say let him do it too. I kind of have this bad feeling like it's not going to happen because we're pulling back on stuff, we're pulling back on time, pulling back on F series, like one series a year. When would it happen if it's going to happen? I think if you have a character like Ewan McGregor, I understand that the Obi-Wan Kenobi series was. It's not even divisive. It was just. It wasn't completely beloved by everybody. I really enjoyed it. It's one of my favorite Star Wars series I've done. I understand some of the criticisms of it, like the idea that it might have worked better as a movie and they could have condensed the story down a little bit and yada, yada, yada. But you have a guy who is such an ambassador for your brand at this point, who is like the face of the prequels at this point. I mean, Hayden is a little bit too, but Ewan has kind of always been there. And Ewan, like, and he's the man when it comes down to it. So he's such a good brand. He's such a good person. You want to continue more. How can you not do something with him if he wants to do it? That's
it, right? Because you've only got to watch The Long Way Round to see how many people stop him on his travels because of him being Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like he can't go anywhere in the world. Like even like the far reaches of like South America or the Philippines without someone stopping him to say, "Hey, you're Obi-Wan Kenobi,
right?
Thank you."
Yeah,
and it's just like, while we've got him,
yes,
let him do it. Let him do it.
And while he wants to do it, there might come a time where he's like, I don't really want to do it anymore. I'm kind of tired of getting older. I don't want to do the action bit. You got him here. You got him and Hayden being friendly again. It's good PR. It's good fun. It's good story-wise. You can find stories to tell. Do we have to have an Obi-Wan season 2? Maybe not even that. Maybe you can do something else with him. But get a project with him involved and get him involved again because he's right there for you. He's a world-class actor. It makes so much sense to do something than not to do something.
I will take a whole saga of Obi-Wan Kenobi movies.
I would too.
And I would take a whole saga of Hayden playing Darth Vader in every single one of those movies.
I would too, or do flashbacks and stuff. Do like let's do something really surreal and do like post Return of the Jedi, 2 Force ghosts getting together and having like, you know what I mean? Like some journey in the netherworld of the Force where it's Force goes Anakin and Force goes Obi-Wan. Hell,
have them like the 2 what are the old guys from the Muppets?
Waldorf and Statler.
Yeah, Waldorf and Statler, just like watching everything happen, just being like, just watching Ben turn to the dark side, and Obi-Wan's just like,
oh my god,
your grandson.
Mystery Science Theater 3000, Obi-Wan and Anakin watching the sequel trilogy.
Yes. Yes.
Oh man, I didn't even know I needed that until I just said that.
Green light, do it.
But yeah, I think it's a great story, and like I said, I just want to emphasize it. It's funny you bring up the long road.
Long way around.
Long way around, which I have not seen yet. I do want to see that. I've never.
I've been watching that since I was a kid.
That's awesome. I would like to see more of that. But it always reminds me of my favorite. I think one of my favorite Ewan McGregor stories was the time he was on Graham Norton and tells a story about how he was driving his kid to school and some guy or some kid like zoomed past him and he's like, he speeds up to catch up to him. He's like, I rolled down my window. And I embarrassed my daughter. He's like, no, dad. And I went, you fucking idiot, you goddamn idiot. And I saw the look in the kid's eyes. That's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi. I love it. I love it so much. That clip, I actually rewatch that clip every once in a while because it makes me laugh. But, all right. Anything more on that, or should we move on to our last?
Yeah, let's move on to the last bit of news.
Last bit of news before we get into Rebuild the Galaxy. Donald Glover was having an interview with Wall Street Journal, and they asked him about Star Wars, of course, and asked him about Lando.
Funny enough, one of my training partners and good friend, Sam Lees, is currently on tour with Donald Glover doing his pyro.
Really?
Yeah. So I
Well,
messaged
that's
him
great.
and I said, "Find out what the fuck's going on with this Lando series, man."
Did he respond?
He said, "Fuck you."
Of course, he knows better. He's professional. He knows better than that, of course. But
I don't even know if he's even met the guy.
right. Well, yeah, that's true. That's true too. But damn it.
To be fair, he
Well,
didn't actually say that. He just said "lol," which I took as a "fuck you."
okay, sure. Yeah, sure thing. Um, but anyway, he was asked about it, and he quoted, "What did he want to do with Star Wars? What did he want to do with Lando?" And he had an interesting quote. I found it interesting. I just want it to be fun. As a Star Wars fan myself, I think it's important that it needs to be fun. It's very hard to have fun right now. It's tough because there are very serious things happening, and those are the only things that connect us weirdly. So I get why things are serious, but part of the human experience, I believe, is that we have a responsibility to have an enjoyment of life, and I think we're lacking that. Star Wars, I love it, but sometimes it can be super serious. Anything that has to do with the Skywalkers is like so serious. Lando, I think the best part about him is that he's a scoundrel. People can relate to that. He's probably like, man, this war is whack. I need money. Which I think people can relate to. I just want it to be fun. Um, Hallelujah, absolutely.
Hallelujah, fucking hallelujah. The man is speaking my language.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, it's like I said it, and I think the Force Center actually people said, and I agreed, 1,000%. Shocking, I know. 1,000% with them. Like we have all these stoic characters recently. These past years, they did a lot of stoicism, and not that that's bad. There are great performances, there are great stories being told, etc. I like that. But we are kind of feel like we're missing that kind of like that swagger, that Han Solo, Lando Calrissian kind of
just
fun
that
adventure.
mindless like fun. I love delving into like the deep themes and everything, but also just give me Lando like swindling his way out of getting caught by the Empire or like getting caught up in a shady deal with the Hutts.
Right. I think the idea is it feels like that almost everything has to have huge stakes. Everything has to have these big galaxy changing stakes, or you have to connect. And I know I'm part of the problem. So I always love the connectivity of things, but I don't necessarily need the connectivity means like whatever happens in the series has to have a big impact. Like the Acolyte had to leave to what's going on with Palpatine and things. No, sometimes just small connections, like the fact that it's Lando Calrissian, is enough. I mean, Lando Calrissian flying around in a ship with a droid, with a friend, and like meeting all these like fun ass people, maybe getting all the Aaron right back. Like to although I'm very, let's say, pessimistic about Disney allowing Alden to come back and even in this movie at all. It's because it's the stink. It's the stink. It's not a stink to us. It's not a stink to most people, but there's that kind of public stink of solo bombing and everything else. So I don't know if that would happen.
I disagree. I think because of Oppenheimer and him being attached to Oppenheimer, which is like one of the biggest movies of the last decade, like commercially, awards, financially. I reckon that with him doing that, they would be a little bit less hesitant to be like, come in. I think it's more likely that they get Alden than they de-age Harrison.
Oh, I just think they wouldn't have Han in it. I think they'd have like he'll talk to Han on the radio kind of thing, maybe, or something.
Han. You gotta have Han with Lando, like it, even if it's just like a little scene at the end where like Lando finally catches up to Han because of the end of Solo.
Maybe, it's possible, I guess, but I am on the pessimistic side.
Like maybe they play like hot potato with the Millennium Falcon.
That would be kind of fun if they did go back and forth. Lando got the Falcon back for a little bit. That would be kind of fun. I would actually like to see that. But
yeah,
I do just my own thought. I don't need Han to appear. Let's put it that way. I don't need him to appear. I would, if he does, great. If it's Alden, great. I have no problem with that. I actually think it'd be fun to get Lando on his own because Lando's always so dependent on everybody else. It always feels like Lando's always so dependent on Han or always so dependent on Leia and Chewie and everything else. To get him on his own without anybody else actually is almost more intriguing to me. So I'd be interested to see that. Maybe I could see like maybe Kira getting involved potentially or something like that, or if they want to do that route or something like that. Or, maybe that's a great place to have Hondo appear. Maybe something like that. That'd be great. Be fun.
That would be, oh my God.
Hera.
You know what would be really good while we still have him with us is if you go in and out, and I know he would love to do this, if you go in and out of Donald Glover and Billy D.
I would love that as well. I'd love that.
Like Billy D telling stories and it flashing to Donald Glover.
I pitched that. I think we both pitched that way back when this was going to be a TV series. It was going to be a Disney Plus series at one point. I think it's a great way to do it. 100% great way to do it.
I think that is like the perfect way to do it. Or even if it's a movie, you have like the opening and it's Billy D like sitting around like a bunch of like he's at a table like playing some back and he's like, let me tell you about the time.
Dude, honestly, that's how I pitch it. You pitch the story. It's pre-Rise of Skywalker, or pre-Force Awakens even. You have Lando and Han and other people sitting around doing this, and Harrison Ford makes an appearance. He'd make an appearance now, like cameo that. Harrison and Lando and Chewie and a bunch of people, and they're just telling stories and stuff. And then Lando just tells this story about, I'll tell you about this one, and then you get Donald Glover.
Or do you do it like he's telling this story? He's like at a back table and he's like telling this story to like a bunch of strangers, and they're all like, "You crazy old man! Like this, none of this happened." And then suddenly turn around and walks in Harrison Ford as Han Solo.
Right at the very end, that'd be kind of cool too. That'd be kind of very
and
cool.
Just like sits down opposite him as if they're about to play the game against each other again. Oh, dude, that would be.
I love it. That'd be great.
Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. Or also. Another way you could do it, although it wouldn't fit the series as much, just throwing it out there. The Lando and Luke did have some time together, so it would be surprised if Luke did something on point, depending on where they took it. But
I'm also kind of like leave the Jedi out of this.
That's true. That's a good point. That's a good point. I just wanted to throw it out there, but
yeah, it would be
absolutely. Fun. I'd love that. But either way, getting off the Billy D side of things and back on the Donald Glover side of things, I love his attitude towards this. I do like the fact that he mentioned it. That means he thinks it's still in development. Because I know I have some people out there going, well, wasn't this canceled? Or that mistaken identity thing that happened a while ago. Or not mistaken identity, but that mistaken press push where the original showrunner mentioned it, and it was canceled. He found out in a shitty way. We found out like online or whatever before they was told that it was being developed over. And people took that to mean that the whole thing was shelved. And like, no, we said it on this very podcast, right? No, that's not what they're saying. They're saying that his version was shelved, but Donald Glover and his brother had taken over and was going to develop it as a movie. Now, we haven't heard much from it since, so we don't know where it's going to fit. Disney is pulling back, like you said, all this we're pulling back Star Wars stuff. Although at the same time, Disney likes the idea of Star Wars being back in the movie theaters, and Donald Glover is always kind of that hot property, hot commodity, so to speak. So he's got to figure out when. Kathleen Kennedy last night, we're basically waiting for Donald Glover to make his schedule work. Now, Childish Gambino is ending. There's the Community talk, and maybe this is now the time where he's going to actually start developing it. The last bit of piece on that news during that interview was that he mentioned that he loves working with his brother. And he mentioned Lando specifically because, like, instead of just being working, like he'll get together and hang out with them. It's not like working; they're hanging out, and they'll be like at the park, and also go try to break a Lando storyline or something. Well, what about this? And they're working together without working together. But all they're doing is talking about being Lando and having that work. So he's having fun doing it. I have a feeling, like, is this going to be made for sure? I don't know. Who knows?
I think so.
Point. He might not be a
seems like the kind of guy that, like, once he gets his teeth into something,
like
it'll happen.
I think so too. It all depends on Lucasfilm and the budget of Disney. That's one that'll hold them back. There's a lot up in the air right now. Lucasfilm, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a very positive person here, and I generally am very positive on Star Wars. But Lucasfilm is definitely up in the air with a lot of different things right now. The only thing we know for sure is Mando and Grogu in May of 2026. That's the only thing we know for sure. And Ahsoka season 2 is being written. Or whatever, developed and starting to film next year, supposedly. That's the only thing we've ever heard in terms of going forward. But there's so many like things out there. There's the Donald Glover Lando. There's the Sean Levy, whatever movie he's developing. There's still the Taika Waititi thing in the way back in the background that he was still technically working on. There's still Dawn of the Jedi from James Mangold. There's still the Filoni Mandoverse wrap-up movie, which that's the one out of those movies I'm almost sure is going to be made. That's what's going
sure
for.
That's definite. The Sharmina Bates Ray movie. I'm pretty sure that's you can't walk Daisy Ridley out on stage at Celebration and be like, yeah, we're bringing it back, we're doing this film, and then not do it.
I wouldn't be surprised if we get a change in director, though. I wouldn't be surprised on that. I'm not saying definitively. It's just a gut feeling I have on that. I could be absolutely wrong. But we'll have to see. But there's a lot of like things out there that are up in the air. It's like, well, when is all this stuff going to be like? How are you going to fit it all? Like, who knows? So that's one of the reasons why I'm like, I don't know when or where it's going to happen. But I mean, we do have the other closer to factual rumor that Disney did slate a movie in December 2026 and one in 2027. Those were slated, unknown, untitled, everything. That's what Disney and Lucasfilm were shooting towards. We just don't know what they are. So that's the only bit of news we have. So we have one in May, one in December, and one in the December following, I believe. So
if I was to quote Dan Mel, if I was running Lucasfilm, I would push Mando and Grogu back to December 2026 because obviously you have Fantastic Four.
Yeah, it's in December 2026. Avatar 3, though.
I would be more confident with Star Wars going up against Avatar than Star Wars going up against Fantastic Four. Yeah.
I wouldn't. Avatar 2 is the Avatar made those are the two biggest selling movies of all time.
I don't know. There's just something.
I won't doubt it anymore.
I feel like I've got. I think we definitely learned our lesson on that one. I don't know. I feel like Christmas time has always been Star Wars' time. You know.
Well, in the Disney era, the push for when they released Solo kind of flopped because of that. Not flopped. It did flop. It was less successful, definitively, because of the May thing, and I get that. I don't know. I think they want up. I think they have a lot of faith in Baby Dave. I really do. I think they do. That he's like the face of he's kind of like the face of Star Wars right now for the casual folks.
They're probably also relying on Pedro being able to do double duty.
I don't think we're going to get much of Pedro in Mando and Grogu.
Apparently, he's filming some scenes. So
yeah.
I mean, like in terms of like promotion, like they can do a double whammy because Pedro's already going to be out there.
Well, that's the thing. He could do Fantastic Four and Star Wars at the same time. So I don't know. We'll have to see. But either way, there's a lot up there, and I think I'm looking forward to this celebration. Even though I'm not going for a long time, dude. I can't go. There's no chance in hell. I have no money to go. Star Wars Celebration is going to be one of the biggest. And I try not to hype myself up. I think it's going to be one of the biggest news things we've had in a long time. Because every time we've had a celebration so far, we've known about most everything coming. We've had the trailer for Last Jedi. We got an announcement or two. And going into April of 2020, whatever it is, 2025. The only thing we know about are Mando and Grogu, which will probably, I bet you're going to get some kind of teaser there. And we'll know a little bit about Ahsoka too. That's all we know about.
I think that might be it.
I see. That's why I think we'll get the announcement of whatever the next movie is. We definitely get I think we're getting the announcement of the next animated projects. I bet you it's going to be an animated project announced in April and comes out in the fall. That's my guess on that. They're going to announce the next movie, if not 2 movies. Like they might say, like whatever they're committing to at that point. I think those are the things we're gonna hear from, and maybe whatever the next Disney Plus TV series that is being developed for after Ahsoka season 2.
I think it's probably going to be the Rey movie. If they're going to do a movie, it'll probably be the Rey one.
If they have a script done. If the script
it's been close to done for a while now. So.
But Days hasn't read it yet. So like, what does that tell you? They're redoing things. What's going on? I mean, if Sean Levy comes up to Disney today and goes, "Hey, finished script, ready to go." Okay, Ray, push your back a little bit. I mean, I think it could absolutely happen that way. So,
maybe. I don't know. I don't know how the business works. So, whatever's there, I'm going to be too fucking fucked up on sake bombs and Japanese Domino's pizza anyway. So,
I know. I'll be here doing the celebration from my screen, and we'll go from there.
It's like 8 hours ahead of me.
Yeah, I know. I'll make it work. I always do. I think I took time off from work last time to just sit up and live stream it. Remember correctly. So I'll do that. Maybe I might do that again, but at least some of the panels anyway. But yeah, either way, I think it's going to be big projects announced for celebrations. I'm excited about that for sure. But to cap up the story, again, just to sum it up, love what Don Glover's saying. I really hope this one gets made, and because I think we do need a fun adventure. I do worry that there are a lot more people out there that want those bigger stakes things, because I think that's one of the reasons Solo kind of wasn't as well received, because there just wasn't as important storylines to it. It was more of like a fun adventure kind of thing. So I'm hoping that's not the case, and I'm hoping that Lando proves them wrong. So
just don't put fires in space; it would be fun.
There you go. All right, that does it for the news. Let's get into our topic of the day. Rebuild of the Galaxy came out this week, or last week, I should say, Friday the 13th. And we watched all 4 episodes. It's kind of fun, and maybe a marketing mishap. Like, I didn't know what to expect. I almost texted friend John Hoey from the Resistance Broadcasting, because he had seen it early. I'm like, we know there's 4 episodes. I had no idea how long they're going to be. Like, I didn't know if we're going to be able to watch all of it to be able to do this week. Or like, it was 4 like hour-long things. Like, I don't know if we're going to be able to watch. Maybe just do the first episode or the first 2 episodes or whatever. So, and I didn't know until it came out. And I can look down like, okay, there's 25 minutes each. We can handle that probably. So,
yep.
Lego Star Wars is a long standing go in the galaxy far, far away. Like Revenge of the Brick, a Han Solo thing. Like they have done this for a while. Furmaker Adventures, which is, I actually watched those back in the day. I think they were 2016. My son was on. We were looking it up earlier. I love the Furmaker Adventures. I thought they were very fun. Same sense of humor, same sense of just wackiness out there. But I always look forward to these because they're always just silly fun. And that's what we need. Because if you're tired of Star Wars discourse, which some people are, and I can definitely be, especially when the Acolyte discourse that we just had, this one, this is like the cure-all for that. Because nobody, I don't want to say nobody gives in like a bad way.
I was going to say, are you sure about that?
Nobody gives, not in a bad way, but I mean, nobody gives as far as there's no like, there's going to be no cringing over that. There's going to be no like, oh my God, woke, oh my God, ruining lore, oh my God. It's just straightforward, silly fun, which is the way Star Wars needs to be sometimes. And that's what you get out of this. You watch it, you don't have to worry, you're not going to worry about anybody's going to say, I have not seen one person say anything bad about this, because no one cares. Like none of the dirtbags care enough to go down on it.
No, so, it doesn't generate, Darth Nubs doesn't generate them the clicks that they usually get.
Exactly. And before we break it down like our usual way, I do want to say, I think, and I might be wrong, do you remember when there was this rumor going around that there's going to be a Star Wars What If show?
And this is it.
I feel like somebody in the scoopers or somebody inside saw some scripts to this, or saw some pitch to the idea and went, oh, Darth Jar Jar? Oh, Lando? They're doing a Star Wars What If show. That must be what they're doing. Something like, where does that cross? And this was actually the script, is what they intended to happen.
And Filoni just sitting there like, oh, we're doing one, but not how you think it is.
How you think. Overall, let's get into the thing. But I will say, I love the fact that they did it this way. I love that you could do a what if without. I mean, I would love a straight up what if like Marvel did. I would like that too. I think it'd be fun to do. But this was done so well and so encompassing of all the different fan theories and all the different like joking things. Like it just felt like a wink and a nod to everybody out there and go, yeah, we read the theories too. Yeah, they're fun. But let's break them down a little bit for it. So, all right, let's get into our little. We always do this every way we do this. We do this by breaking down bit by bit before we get into a longer bit. Let's go to our sections. Our first section, as always, this was a disappointing one.
Yeah,
Hondo Watch 2024. It wasn't in it. What a failure on all levels. We don't get Hondo in this episode. How does Hondo not appear in this one? How?
Darth Hondo,
or even that's the funny thing, because they did a lot of switching of characters.
Or Hondo on the Jedi Council.
Hondo, the Jedi Hondo, or something like that. Oh, come on now. They a total missed opportunity for sure. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, no, I'm mad. I'm mad. Like,
when will our be over?
Like, I don't want to say he's been relegated to the video games because he's got his own DLC coming out for
Right.
Star Wars Outlaws. But I don't think Lucasfilm quite understand the love the people, like not just us, but like the people have for Hondo.
Hondo is the people's champ.
He is.
Someday, my friend, someday. But until that day, I feel like I'm Ben Affleck in a Jane Silent Bob Strike Back. When, Lord? When? Jesus Christ, when do you?
When's gonna be my time?
All right.
I thought you meant you were like Ben Affleck, like walking out holding the Dunkin' boxes that he just dropped and just looking down like, oh.
That was me afterwards going, there's a box of like Hondo pop figures. Oh well. Okay. That's out of the way. Hondo Watch out of the way. Let's move on to our favorite characters of. We're gonna do this over just the 4 episodes, I believe. We didn't talk about this off air. Just everything was just not episode by episode. Favorite character of the specials. Go, Matty.
This is so dumb. It's Servo. An Australian conch droid.
Oh my God, the gonks were served. The gonks were definitely served. Shout out to Cal Katarn on Twitter. Loves the gonk droids. Gonks were served.
I didn't know how much an Australian gonk droid would make me laugh. But it's like in the second episode where he first gets his voice, and he's like, "Does anyone need a charge? Does anyone need a charge?" And then they go for the asteroid battlefield. It's like, does someone? Oh, I heard someone needs a charge now.
So good.
So good.
So good. I see my dog likes him too. My dog actually agrees with you. I think that's a good point.
It's that perfect example of just like dumb fun that we love.
Absolutely. For me, it's almost like too easy, but I can't help it. Give me Bobby Moynihan, Jedi Bob, any day.
For people that don't know, do you care to explain the lore behind Jedi Bob?
No, I would like you to go ahead. Please do.
Jedi Bob is a random figure, a random minifig from an old Clone Wars set of Lego, and he was just called Jedi Bob. Like he had no cool name. He was just a random minifig. So seeing him in this, I was like, okay. They are very well aware of what they're doing, because the gunship that he puts together, that is his gunship from the set. Yeah, and I was just like, bravo, well done.
I think it was the Attack of the Clones Lego set. I think it was the Royal Gunship or whatever. I love the fact that it's his name. His name is actually Bobararian Ethel or whatever, which is basically his last name is an acronym for adult fans of Lego.
Yep.
But
he starts calling him JB.
The entire special goes through, and they keep calling him Jedi Bob. He gets so mad every time. He's like, "Don't call me Jedi Bob. I'm not Jedi Bob. I'm not Jedi Bob. That's not my name."
So he calls him JB.
JB.
We are not doing initials with each other.
Not doing that. I love Bobby Moynihan anyway. I think he's a funny guy. So, give him his thing. Give him his due on there for sure. Not the first time you've heard him in Star Wars. He was on Resistance, and also in Clone Wars season 7. I think he was in that one of the Martez sister arc or whatever. He was what's the guy's name? I think it was like Pinto Son L. He was the money lender guy, and he was the guy.
Okay.
Yeah, the Martez sisters, and that was Bobby Moynihan. So he's definitely always been a Star Wars fan. I know that for sure. But yeah, I was just glad to get Bobby Moynihan in there, and he made me laugh. So I hope we get to see more of Jedi Bob.
Say more, weren't you?
I was kind of thinking that potentially. We'll get
as much as I love Sam Witwer. Nope.
Nope. All right, let's do I spec favorite line. What was your favorite line of dialogue?
For out of the whole thing.
Yes, if you have one.
Oh god, now I gotta pick. I gotta pick from between four because I'm actually in the very first episode got me good. I was okay. Greedo shot his shot first.
Yeah, that is mine. Same exact one. That was one of the times. I mean, I chuckled throughout that one. There's two parts that made me laugh out loud. I'm saving the other one for our later thing. But that when I saw Greedo shot his shot first, on the floor laughing. So good.
The thing is, it's such low hanging fruit to go with the Greedo shot first. That's why it's so great.
But the way you do it, it's also about how you do it. Like we just have a joke. Oh, Greedo shot first. It's like okay, okay, we get the reference. But the way you go about having Greedo being in love with Leia or having them together, and all of a sudden, like because he shot his shot first, that's a good way, like a great way to go around doing it.
And they're not in the Falcon; they're in the Slave One, which is shaped like Greedo's face.
Right. I will say they did not rely on nostalgia low hanging fruit too often. They actually did just right. They got a hit and ran with it. When they hit, it was really good. It was really good. So yeah, I just love that. So same line for me. I will throw out there my honorable mention line was, I don't remember actually the exact line, but it was more of like this when they had the Atbar clones together. Stop copying me, stop copying me, stop copying me. Stop copying me.
I put that in my comedy moments.
That was a good moment too. I love the Akbar clones. That was so fun. All right, next up, put that in your holocron and snoke it. I mean, it's kind of weird because the more lore. I guess you have Lego lore. I will say, I was surprised. This is kind of like more of a bigger thing at the end, but I'll say it now. They ended it, and he hadn't really fixed the galaxy, and so instead, like our Star Wars galaxy, our stories that he is telling people, and he is like that guy. So the fact is, we could go on in this entirely new alternate galaxy and have stories that go on. If like it's successful enough, which I hope it is, we could get a repeat next year and then continue adventures of Devin Civ and everything else.
Let's put that because we got a segment coming up.
Okay, that's fine. I'll get that. All right. Do you have a something you want to explore more lore of?
I do actually. There's a Han line where he mentions Star Tours.
Yes.
What does the in-universe Star Tours look like?
That's a great question. That is a great question. I noticed that too. I was like, oh my god, that's great. That's
because I get that's just like them dropping like the Wayne's World with the Pepsi.
Right.
Like
absolutely.
Just a bit of like marketing in there. But what the hell does the Star Tours in universe look like?
Now, especially now. Maybe that's where Hondo is. And that's what I say. And that's my lore. It's a little cheap. It's a cheap hit for me, but I want to know where Hondo is in this galaxy. That's my lore. Call me a cheap basic bitch, but that's what I am.
Cheap pup.
Cheap pup. All right, we get to our seen a lot of action, our favorite action bits of the episodes, and it's fun action. I'll throw this one out there. My favorite one was Beach Bum Luke coming to the rescue.
It's funny because didn't I recast Luke as Val Kilmer?
You did. Yeah, it basically worked as Val Kilmer. It totally worked. That's what it was.
Val Kilmer.
It really is Val Kilmer at that point. First of all, I also, besides him coming in like Han Solo, whatever, to save the day, like he thought he walked away, he didn't want anything to do with it. He came in and saved it anyway. I love the fact that Luke was a pod racer at this one.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Cool. That.
And I love that they turned Tatooine into an ocean planet like it was before. I was like, okay, so another example of like these guys know what they're doing.
Yeah, so good, so good, so fun that way. I love that quite a bit. Yeah. So okay, how about your bit of action?
Oh, for me, it's the Death Star Ray on the Millennium Falcon. Finally, we finally fucking have a use for that radar dish.
Right.
It's just sitting there. We're like, what the hell is that for?
What are you doing? It's like sensors and stuff, I guess. But yeah, having it have something to do was freaking great. I loved it. Love it so much. Good for you. All right. Laugh it up, Fuzzball. Your favorite comic moment.
Oh my god. Where the hell do we start?
Oh god. I got the other one that made me absolutely laugh out loud completely. So
Go on.
you have Maul as basically Maldo, basically. He's basically the Lando character. You even got the Lando thing, I don't even know. But at the end of the episode, I'm kind of like, where the frick was Lando and Billy D. Williams? Like, I can't believe they didn't have him in there. What the? Oh,
yeah, they did.
the
Oh,
Landalorian.
oh, the Landalorian. Yeah.
And this is the way. And he comes out, like, they call it the Landalorian. I lost my shit. I'm like, I love it. I love it.
That might have been the best moment of the whole series.
Good old Billy D. Good old Billy D.
Because then Darth Dave comes behind him, Darth Grogu. How many people, like, their hearts just broke?
So good. How about you? What is your favorite comic moment of Benny?
I'm looking at my notes right now, and I'm just like,
so many. You're good.
How do I fucking pick one? This is so good. Palpatine still abusing Vader, even as a Jedi. I found that pretty funny. Okay, the Ewok bounty hunters, that made me laugh. And I know I'm kind of trailing off here. There was one moment in the very first episode that cracked me up so hard. And it was a very tiny moment. It's when they're on Crate. And he licks the salt. And he goes, salt. And then it changes. And he licks it and he goes, pepper.
It's all black on the ground.
And then he sneezes.
Oh,
it's so dumb.
It's so dumb.
So funny.
It's so perfectly dumb. Oh god, it's so good.
But I think a very close second is the Ewok bounty hunters, because we've just watched the Ewok movies. Like, that stuck out in my mind even more.
So good. Wow, so good. All right. Let's go parsecs out of 11. What do you give this the old episode here?
I give it an 8. It was enjoyable enough. You know, I didn't get a whole like barrel full of laughs from it. There were some really touching moments, some really cool action sequences. The fight between the two brothers was cool. The space battles was cool. Very heartwarming story towards the end. I'm not sure if I'm going to go right back to it. I think it's one of those things that, like, if we were to look on the what's the name of the channel that they're doing?
Oh, the Hits and Heroes. Or
Hits and Heroes. Like, if I turn on Hits and Heroes and it's on, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I agree. I probably wouldn't. I might give it another rewatch at some point. Like, but if a new one comes out and they're continuing the story, I'm like, oh, I'll just rewatch to have fun with it. Or if I'm having a bad day, kind of like just like a laugh, kind of like a laugh moment, it might be good to put it on. I get that either way though. But yeah, you're right. I give it a 8 as well. I wouldn't actively, like, it's not gonna be a regular thing for me. None of the Lego ones ever are. They're kind of disposable humor. They're fun, like laugh, and then I kind of move on to the next one. But that's okay. Not everything has to be like a big rewatchable thing to be great. It's still great for what it is. Let's get up that Force Vision then. If we're not seeing, speaking of the future, if we do have a future installment, where you want to see this go?
Well, we gotta be the Landalorian, right?
Right.
The Landalorian's gotta be the main guy. Do we go to Mandalore? Like a Lego Mandalore?
Oh yeah, that could be good. I like to see that. All right.
And like Bo-Katan isn't the queen or
right
anything like that. I think that would, or like Bo-Katan is, maybe Bo-Katan's the Duchess. Ooh. And Satine is the warrior.
Interesting choice.
But my big thing is, aside from that, I need the entire modding community to get on getting some of these characters in the Lego Star Wars games.
Yes.
Let me play as Jedi Jabba. Let me play as the Sith Jawa.
As Darth
Let me
Nubs.
play as Darth Nubs. Yes. Start modding this game.
I love it. I love it. Good job. Good work. Good work. Similar. I actually thought about that's what we should go with the Landalorian. We should actually. I would love to see them follow the entire adventure now, like Landalorian, book of I don't know who would be, not Boba Fett, book of somebody else, like the book of Salacious Crumb, or.
Oh my god! I completely forgot about him being the Emperor. Salacious B. Crumb being the Emperor was fantastic.
Fantastic. Exactly. Love it so much. I think we can do a lot with those, but yeah, I just continue along the lines of what you're doing, add those things in there, and just build out the world, the galaxy. Now you have a whole new galaxy to explore, so let's just explore it at this point. So I'm excited about that. But, all right, let's see. Anything else we want to talk about with that? There are a couple things I did want to mention that I noted. First of all, I still think that God, what's his name? The actor who does Palpatine. I can't remember his name, unfortunately. I wish I had it here. It's not.
Oh, God, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's not Whitwer. I know Whitwer's done him in the past.
No, it's Emperor Palpatine.
God, I can't think.
Okay, well, I'm sorry for not being able to shout you out, but let me look at it on this. Rebuild the Galaxy. It's great content for you guys, I know. But I will say he has been the most consistent, entertaining characters in the entire Lego saga. Like it is so funny. He commits the bit so hardcore that I can't even I don't know how he continues to make, but he makes me laugh.
Trevor Duvall.
Okay, thank you so much, Trevor Duvall. Hats off to you. I think I can't stop laughing at every line he does, and him as the Jedi was like perfect. Like him as a Jedi, I never thought that would. How? It's so good. He's
still bullying Vader.
He's still bullying Jedi Vader, which I loved as well. So good, funny, so good.
Can I just say, I saw on the council Jedi Dooku. For a split second, I thought it was George Lucas.
I did too. I really thought that was the case. They're putting George Lucas in the Jedi Council. That's awesome.
I was just like, how much convincing did it take for George to agree? Yeah, do it.
Yeah, do it. I honestly think he would. I mean, he'd be like, I think he likes Lego stuff. I think he enjoys because that's what Star Wars is to him. It's not as serious as it's a serious emotional story, but it's about having fun.
If they were going to do that, you put George as the master and Dave as the apprentice.
There you go. That'd be funny too. Speaking of Trevor, though, I want to say one more thing. He actually had one of my favorite moments that actually almost put into my funny bits because he voiced Dr. Evazan. The Baba. He likes you. I like you too.
Oh well, thank you. That was such a great callback.
So funny, so good. The last bit I want to mention, and I'll let you have the floor to anything else that you wanted to mention. I think in a weirdly super poignant way, in a heartfelt way that you almost don't even expect Lego to be this deep about, and I'm probably thinking way too deep about it. I think it was awesome that with all the characters like kind of switching allegiances and stuff like that, Leia did exactly the same.
Yeah. She's the anchor she's the focal point.
She is the core. You can't make her, even in a world on tipsy-turvy, you can't make her go dark. I mean, Luke comes back and is a good guy at the end. Fine. And that's fine. Luke's there with his sister, but Leia really does not change a bit, except for falling in love with Greedo, but that's okay. other than that.
Leia is Leia. I think even if Carrie was still with us, I don't think you could change.
No, I fully agree. Fully agree. All right. Anything else you want to add?
No, not really. I've said my piece. I think this was wonderful. Can't wait for the next one. And just let this be a reminder to all of us to not take these stories so seriously.
Yes, please. I agree 100%. Please. That's where we'll leave it then, folks. In the great episode. Thank you so much, Manny, for coming on. As always, where can the folks find you?
You can find me on all social media at Matty Morna. You can find my band Morna on all social media. Fuck it, I'll just announce it here. October 9th, brand new song dropping. I'm not going to give all the details, but October 9th. Pre-save is live now. I'll post the link on socials in the next coming days. But
Nice.
yeah, new song, first of two. I will also be announcing the official live lineup for Morna. It is now in place. Everyone is in, found the right people. Took a while, but yeah, next year is going to be
world tour.
World tour. Hopefully.
More power to you, my friend, as always. Find me all over here at Paul News on Twitter. You can find me at PLD Projects on Blue Sky or Threads, I think. And I'm on Blue Sky too. I want to start using them more. I do like them more. I do see that they're actually building a little bit. When I first went over, there was just like no one there. So I kind of went back to X or Twitter. And I still like those spots better. I'm just so used to being on Twitter. So we're trying to spread our love a little bit everywhere else, of course.
Threads is cool. I like Threads.
Yeah, I like Threads. But you can find me all over this channel, of course. We had to cancel 2 Mediocre White Dudes yesterday. Unfortunately, PJ had issue he had to take care of. So we will be back in 2 weeks to conclude the John Wick saga.
He forgot to work out in the morning, so he had to do it at the time that you guys usually record. PJ, I know the game. I know how it works.
You gotta catch you.
2 days in.
He wants to catch you, as he says. I gotta catch that bastard. But we will be back in 2 weeks to do that episode, John Wick Chapter 4. We got an episode of review coming out next week as well. Chris Clark joining the one-offs to do Billy Joel.
Of course.
And then on Friday, of course, every Friday we do Crown Jewels on my sister YouTube channel, and also the audio feed. We are up to the game tour, talking about the concerts and promoting the game album. And then we'll move on to the Flash Gordon soundtrack, which is going to be a lot of fun to talk about for sure. Savior of the universe. And of course, Holy Snokes every week. That's where you'll find me here, of course. So I think that'll do it for us. And we will see you next time. I think we're going to do, I'll announce it right now. Why not? We talked about it before we went live. Next week, we are going to conclude our recasting the saga. We're going to recast the sequel trilogy, but only with actors from the 80s or 90s. We haven't quite made it. So we're going to figure out, it has to be back in the day as if it were happening at. Like,
I think let's do 80s.
We'll do 80s actors. We're going to recast a bunch of the sequel trilogy people, not Han, Luke, or Leia, obviously, but we're going to do Rey, Kylo Ren, Poe, Finn, Snoke, because he's kind of one of our mascots here, and then a minor character of our choice. So we had fun. We had a lot of fun with the previous 2 recasts. So I think this should be another fun episode for sure.
Thing is that my original trilogy, I went very 80s heavy, so I'm gonna have to
dig deep. You can't use the same actors.
I'm gonna have to dig deep. I'm gonna have to pull away from the ones that I chose. So
perfect. Same rules though. No Ed Harris and no Tom Cruise.
No Ed Harris. No Tom
Cillian
Cruise.
Murphy. No Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy wasn't acting in the 80s.
I know, but I'm just gonna say you're not making sure you're not going to pull him somehow through a time portal.
I will not pick Tom Cruise.
Okay.
It's fine. No Ed Harris. No Tom Cruise.
All right. Sounds good. We will see you next time, of course. Take care, everybody. May the Force be with you. Always.
May the Force be with you. Always.